everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. In today's video, I'm sharing the explanation for the 64th, which is the last hexagram in I-Ching called before completion. So let's take a look at the image of this hexagram. The external triagram is fire and the internal triagram is water. So fire over water, how does the energy interact? Fire's energy goes upwards, whereas water's energy goes downwards. So they're separated, they're parallel with each other versus the prior hexagram after completion is water over fire. The energy interacts with each other. So because of this separation and isolation of the energy, it means this last hexagram has this unfavorable timing. This is not the right time to achieve grand success or reach your accomplishment. Furthermore, if you look at the position of each line, this is the wrong placement, because for the odd positions like the first line, the third line, the fifth line, you're supposed to have odd is for yang energy, but in this case it's all yin lines, versus the even number like the second, fourth, or the sixth one is supposed to be matched with yin energy, but in this case it's all yang lines. So it's misproper placement, meaning that the energy is not in tune with nature. Now is not a favorable time to achieve something. So that's the undertone context for this before completion hexagram. So in this case, what should a person do, right? You're feeling stuck, you're feeling a lot of struggle. That's the teaching and wisdom of this hexagram. First is teaching you that don't give up. Persistency pays off. Even though you might run into great risk and danger, keep on pushing through it. Having finished it doesn't mean you will never be able to finish it. Always have that end goal in mind and have the patience to wait for the right time to come. When the external energy changes, the patience and the persistency will be rewarded and you will achieve great accomplishment. It's just not at this moment. And the second teaching is be very cautious and careful in this grand, dangerous condition, right? Be planful when you start and be careful when you end, when you finally achieve this super difficult journey. How do you manage the beginning point and the ending point? Be very cautious. So that's the teaching of this hexagram. So if you dive into the individual lines, the first one is actually in conjunction with the ending stage, the top line of the 63rd hexagram after completion. Remember, in the 63rd hexagram, the ending stage is you're too relaxed, too proud of your accomplishment, you're letting loose, letting off your guard. That resulted in this person's head being submerged underwater, which signifies great danger. It's self-incurred danger. At the ending stage of great accomplishment, that's a great transition to the beginning stage of a new undertaking, which is this first line. But this person is not smart enough to learn from the prior mistake. Instead, it's repeating the same problem. It's being too rushed. It's being too arrogant and overconfident. That's what's going to incur great danger at the beginning point of this undertaking a new initiative. So it's saying that learn from your past mistakes and know your limits. Be very cautious at the initial stage. Otherwise, you will incur greater setback and struggle for yourself. The second line is actually a positive one, is encouraging strategic persistency. What I mean by that is you're in the middle, the deep part of crossing the river. You're kind of hauling a carriage to go through this great danger. When it's time to move, put all of your energy to move forward as fast as you can. But when the currents run so fast or so deep, be smart to stop when you need to. But overall, don't give up. Overall, keep on rolling. But it doesn't mean without any thinking or smart planning behind it. So as long as you can exercise self-control and this balancing act of go when the time supports it and stop when the time is not in favor to preserve your energy. At the end of the day, your net result is still forward motion, is still big progress. So it's emphasizing strategic persistency, then you will incur great progress through this super difficult part of the creation journey. The third line, this is actually a super cautious stage, meaning this is ending stage of this water triagram, meaning you're almost at the end of crossing this dangerous river. Please, please, please don't rush into things. Then you might at the risk of ruining everything you've accomplished so far. Be patient. When the right time comes, put all of your energy into a forward motion and do that last great leap to the end, to your goal. But it doesn't mean you need to rush into it. Still be cautious, be patient, and seek alliance, seek resources and help. When you optimize your condition, then make the final great leap. You'll be successful. But if you rush into things, you will incur great danger. And the fourth line, now you move out of this water-resembled struggle into this fire-resembled brightness. You see the sunlight, meaning that you finally endure a long period of trials and errors and struggle. You persisted through it. You didn't give up. Now you fight through the whole thing. You will see a great deal of success and rewards because of the persistency and the careful planning. And moving to the fifth line, this is a positive one as well. Now you are at this king's position. You're the person in charge. You have a natural corresponding relationship with the second guy, which is a very smart, supportive person on your team. So you have this genuine support because you yourself illuminate light, trust, and brightness to people. So it's a very organically harmonious team. That's why you can finally break through the initial struggle and reach the end goal. You achieve what you wanted. So it's a positive one. But again, the last ending line is a cautious word again. You can celebrate with some wines or feast, right? That's harmless. That's well-deserved. However, the moment you over-index, you lose that balance, you become intoxicated with this drink or alcohol. Then it moves from harmless to danger. It's calling out caution to prevent overindulgence, to prevent losing this balancing self-control act. You need to be careful when you begin, but more importantly, you need to be more careful when you end so that you don't repeat the same mistake again. So that's the explanation of the 64th hexagram. But before I end this video, since this is the last hexagram, I think there are two main points I want to call out. One is, why did I-Ching end with this before completion one versus the prior one after completion? That's the beauty of I-Ching. It's all about change. What's the rhythm and underneath logic for this change within the sphere or this heavenly body we live in, right? That's all of human influence. That's a natural rhythm. Because you will never end at a static point. Ending is just a prelude for a new beginning. So that simplifies I-Ching's teaching of constant movement, constant change. But it's not chaotic change, it's change with underlying reasons. So the second point is, what's the point of learning I-Ching? Of course, this is a really practical tool to use the stick or coin method to give us some guidance when you're faced with uncertainty or you need to make an important life choice. That will tell you, should you do it or should you not? But beyond this practical application, spending your time, investing your time, really learning this thousands of year old wisdom from our ancient people, it really teaches you human is a part of nature. This whole I-Ching is teaching us a law of nature. We just need to live according to the same law. If you use yourself as the focal point, it's very natural for people to become an emotional victim to the ups and downs in life, and you feel depressed when something does, you lose things, you lose loved people or lose money, whatever, and people become over proud, over pride, over excited when they achieve something. It's constantly this emotional roller coaster. But in contrast, if you learn this I-Ching, you are able to pull yourself as a focal point. You're looking at your own journey from a third party objective perspective, almost like a God viewpoint, knowing that you're just a tiny little component in this overall heavenly sphere, heavenly energy. And now we know the up and down, the natural rhythm of how it changes. You can see it as what your own experience is just part of this water flow. So I look at myself objectively. So when I go through the hard times, I know why it's happening. What's the purpose of it? Look at all the supposedly bad hexagrams throughout this whole I-Ching journey, right? What is it teaching you? How do you preserve your energy in bad times? How do you not give up? What's the right approach? And when you reach the high points, and some of the hexagrams are really supposed to be the super fortunate ones, what is it teaching you, right? Be modest, tone it down, prepare for the worst, have the foresight. So you know that's the natural rhythm, the law of the universe. And when you experience it, you're just part of how you go with the flow. Nobody can change it. So you have a very even keel reaction to your experience. You're not going to be super down when your trend goes down or super excited when your trend goes up. You have this very steady emotional reaction to everything that's happening in life. I think that's the most valuable thing I personally learned from I-Ching, especially in connection with Bazi and like the purple star astrology, which I might share down the road. Those are just tools to predict your own life's trend, like what's your strength, what's your weakness, what's going to happen to you about what time. But in connection with those astrology tools, I-Ching is teaching you that balanced mindset on how to cope with it, how to cope with the supposedly bad time versus the good times. And that's the best way to kind of live your life, right? And have a very stable and steady mindset. So that's kind of my ending comment about this whole I-Ching series. I really encourage everyone to just hunker down, spend some time, really dig deep into the scripture and the explanation of each hexagram. And in the end, you'll find a lot of commonalities in the wisdom of each one, and kind of help us guide through the ups and downs in life. So that's my ending comment for this whole I-Ching series. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.